welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be discussing, this is something off topic, but what I'm going to do is merge these two topics together because they are relevant for the times that we're living in. So first off, I just want to say that lately I have been coming across, when I talk about exposure, I am seeing so many people exposing themselves with things. I follow, business content, entrepreneurship, and I listen to podcasts when I'm at work. So there's quite a few platforms that I follow, and it's like it ranges from all types because I love content, and I'm also a content creator. So I'm on social media a lot, and I recently came across some videos of I'm subscribed to some channels, and I was completely shocked. One is a professional. She's a professional, and she works in the interior design space. And I haven't seen her for quite a while on YouTube. She kind of just disappeared, or you know how YouTube doesn't really show some of the channels that you're subscribed to, like, so you kind of forget about them because they just kind of fade away. But her channel popped up on my feed, so I was like, wow, I haven't seen her in a while. So when I clicked on her video, she started talking about she was gone for a while and she's coming back to YouTube. So I watched her video and I literally had to turn it off. She started talking about the challenges that she was having in her business and stuff like that. And while she says, well, I'm just gonna, while she's talking, she just starts shuffling these cards. And these cards were tarot cards. And I'm like, and she was like, I forgot what word she used, but she was like, I'm gonna predict what's gonna happen in your future, or something like that. Kind of reflect on what she wanted to forecast on other people that's watching her channel. As soon as I saw that, I was like, click, click. I was so shocked because I was not expecting that on her channel. Because first of all, it's always been straight up just talking about interior design, showing behind the scenes and all this stuff. So it just goes to show you, man, we don't know what people do behind closed doors. And it's getting scary because there's a lot of people, I believe, that are dabbling in a lot of stuff, and they're also mixing. They may quote some scriptures, but they're also dabbling in New Age. They're dabbling in witchcraft. They're dabbling in all this other stuff that is not rooted in the Bible. It's not rooted in true spiritual the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and believing that Jesus died on the cross for your sins and that he was not a prophet, but he was the Son of God, okay? Period. That's it. End of story. And we have a lot of people that's dabbling in a whole lot of stuff. And so that was just one example, but there was someone else that, what did she do? There was another channel I was watching. Oh, it was a podcast. I was listening to a podcast at work, and she was another one that started talking about tarot cards. And I was like, what? I've been listening to this girl for about a year and a half. And I had no clue that and then she just started talking about how her business is not going well. And then she started saying that she needs to read her cards to see what the future is going to predict for her business. I said, my God, my Lord. So my thing is now I am thoroughly going to be mindful and more cautious of the channels that I'm watching, because a lot of these channels are not even, you know, it's off topic. It's not, it's not even. I could see, if it was related to them talking about the Bible and stuff, and then you see that something is off, but I would not suspect, someone just talking about business and then the stuff that they're doing behind the scenes that is not related to, yeah, you just never know what people are point blank, you never know what somebody's dabbling in. So on that note, I don't know how I'm going to tie this in, but that's then with the exposure, and everything done in the dark comes to the light. And I just want to bring up this thing about the Pope. Now, that caught me off, not that it caught me off guard, because he was sick. And I thought it was very strange because I saw, this was on Instagram, I saw the Pope and he was at a Circus Soleil. I thought this was strange because it was on Instagram. And he had all these men dancing in tights around him, circling it. It just was very odd. And I read the comments, and there was a lot of people that was disagreeing, like, why is the Pope participating in this? It was, it was the circus. It just was off. It was off. And right after that, he fell sick. So I was like, this is really, I just kind of took note of that. He felt really sick. He felt ill. So, they said that he was getting better and everything was fine. And then just out of the blue, like the day after Easter, he passes away. And the thing is, I'm not Catholic, so I don't really follow whatever goes on in the Catholic religion, because I don't really believe in having a higher man, like a person in such a high status like that. And I just never, I don't know, I just don't, they worship like Mary instead of Jesus, and this is just a lot of things that contradict, that I just don't really understand. And I don't, yeah, so enough said. So I thought that was strange. Now, when I looked back on the news and they showed how his face was so puffed up, and he was looking, the day that he gave his prayer on Easter Sunday, he was looking out of it, like he was not even, like he was clueless of what was really going on. Like, I just sometimes wonder about everything that we see, like things behind closed doors, like what's really going on. I don't want to say too much on camera, but hopefully you can read between the lines of what I'm saying. But I also want to bring up the fact that they are going to be, deciding on a new pope. And this is where things get a little hairy, scary for me, because this is in such alignment with the temple and what I've been talking about on my channel about the temple being built, the third temple, and the red heifer. They found the red heifer. And the fact that the Pope just passed away, this is like, it's mind-blowing, because we are so living in the last days. Like, this is like, things are speeding up so fast. And I'm wondering, I don't know, so I'm not saying that I know for sure, but I'm wondering if the next pope is going to be the false prophet that ushers in the Antichrist. So if you go with me to Revelations, and I'm not one to read the book of Revelations. This is one book that I have no deep knowledge in, because it freaks me out, even though I know I need to read it. But I really don't like to read Revelations. I really don't. But I wanted to read from verse 13, the beast from the earth. Now, this is talking about the false prophet. I'll read from verse 12. And he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast. The first beast is the Antichrist, whose deadly wound was healed. And that, if you want to read that, that is right before this verse. It's actually the beginning of chapter 13, because it goes into the Antichrist and then it talks about the false prophet. But I just want to kind of focus on the false prophet right now. It says, he performs great signs, so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast, who was wounded by the sword and lived. He was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast. And the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand and on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And we all know the number of his name is 666. So I just wanted to bring this to you because we are so close to the end. Like my last previous video, which I talked about the 11:59 hour, we're close to midnight. I'm not trying to live in anxiety of everything that's happening, but I just want to call your attention so you can study for yourself and to seek the Lord in prayer and fasting. And I want to read Matthew 24 too, because that ties in with this. I want to read verse 23 through 27. Then if anyone says to you, look, here is the Christ, or there, do not believe it. For false Christs and false prophets will rise and show great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you beforehand. Therefore, if they say to you, look, he is in the desert, do not go out. Or look, he is in the inner rooms, do not believe it. For as the lightning comes from the east and flashes to the west, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. So we are in great transitions, and things are speeding up, and I guess the best thing I would say is to watch and pray. Watch and pray. And look up, because your redemption draws nigh. Because the times that we're in, they're already speeding up all this stuff with AI, and eventually this AI is going to really shift in a negative way. So this is, this is just a warning or a heads up. I just want to, give give a warning, and we will. So stay prayed up, and we will see you in the next one. Take care. God bless.